Hey, how's it going? So I was on eBay and I saw a great deal on a um, Game Boy Advance, and I figured why not buy it. It was listed as not working, and but I thought I'd give it a shot because I've been thinking about doing a. Let me fix my light. I've been thinking about doing another case mod or screen mod. Got my X-Acto knife. Pretty good packaging. I like it so much better than the boxes filled with peanuts. Like, I don't even know. I didn't even know you could buy those anymore. Somehow people are still packaging things with them. Maybe they haven't made them in years, and people just keep passing them back and forth through eBay. And they'll live forever in the eBay ecosystem, floating back and forth from home to home. So let's check this out. I vaguely remember the listing. All right, so it's like I forget what this color is called. I don't know what any of them are called. The screen's not that bad. It's like a little scuffed up, but it's like that one's a little deep. But a lot of that could buff out. These buttons are noticeably discolored. But yeah, other than that, like, this case is in good shape. It's like purple. I don't know what they called this purple. Yeah, I think I'm gonna just test it out. They said not working, but who knows? I'm not gonna like take their word for it. So I got 2 batteries, and of course I have the greatest video game of all time, Advance Wars, to test. Yeah. Okay, so start and select definitely don't work. Let's see. Shoulder. Oh, I can't remember if the left shoulder button does anything. Alright. And the kind of potentiometer or whatever for the sound doesn't really work. So I think I'm going to just kind of, I don't know, see what I can do. Which probably isn't much because I don't really know what I'm doing. Alright, so I forgot to hit record. So anyway, I'm going to break this thing open. I do have a fair amount of spare parts, including stickers, but I'm going to see if I can't just keep this how it is. It is getting a little loose. It might not survive the bath. But I think there are some spots like these silicone pads that I'm definitely going to have to replace. And then these shoulder buttons, it's kind of hard to see. There's some discoloration, but you know, magic eraser might be enough to get that cleaned up. But the case itself is like free of major blemishes. And hopefully I have enough screws. There's some rust on the screws, but you know, I think I might have some extras of those as well. So I think I need the tri-wing screws for those 3 spots, and that'll be it. So just using this one. I did have this set of tools is not very good. So you know, it's like that old adage that if you buy cheap, you end up buying things twice. And it's definitely the case with that set of tools. I might have to just spring for one of those fancy iFixit sets. So let's see where those buttons, the start and select. I don't know, looks like there's maybe some corrosion there. So I don't know if I clean it up, maybe that'll do the trick. How are these looking? Look, they look worn out. They're old and crusty. Yeah, ooh, nasty. See the little thing for the light diffuser for the LED. I do want to use, I want to reuse as many of the buttons as possible. So I'm going to try to reuse those. Focus where I want you to. Do it when I want you to do it. A and B buttons, those look good. Those will clean up just fine. Silicone pad, very dusty and crusty. It's been in somebody's pocket a lot, I'm sure. Alright, so to clean these up, all I'm going to use is hot water and just some dish soap, some really basic stuff. Anything more than this would be overkill. And really, I mean, this is overkill. I think just hot water would be enough to get most of the grime and everything unstuck from it. So all right, so I have to kind of jump back and forth with the camera because I cannot film and clean at the same time. But right here you can see I just cleaned the right button with a magic eraser, or like the off-brand cleaning, you know, abracadabra scrubber. And you can see like the difference is pretty stark. This is, I mean, that right side one looks brand new practically. So there's still a little bit of grime in there. I have to get in there a little bit more, but yeah, the magic eraser is fantastic. What I don't want to do is, I'm definitely not going to use the magic eraser on the plastic, this outside plastic, because even though they say that those foam things, the myelin foam, is non-abrasive, that's not really true, and it will scuff things. Like if you've cleaned glossy paint, or like semi-gloss paint, you know it'll turn it really, really matte, and there is like some texture on the case that I do want to maintain, and I think that using the sponge on that would wreck it. So anyway, next time we'll probably be at my workbench again. This bad boy. I'm just going to kind of hit it with air. I don't know, there's a bunch of junk in here. Maybe I'll use some isopropyl alcohol, clean that out a little bit, but let's see if I can blast it with air. See if that helps first. All right, so I hit it up. Hey, and it looks pretty good now. Feel like there might be a little bit of stuff, but when I turned it on, I didn't hear any like rattling or anything. So, you know, that's like one of the few things that seem to be working no problem. Certain it's fine to pour that down the drain. It's like pouring anything down the drain. Plus it's clear, so it's like water. So I'm gonna use this just because I don't have anything, but that's good to know. Like in the future, I need to go to like Walgreens or something, CVS, and try to pick up some isopropyl alcohol that is the higher potency. All right, so I think I'm just about ready to reassemble everything. I got the board pretty cleaned up, but I can't really test it until I get it somewhat reassembled. But I want to pick out what is stuck to me. Q-tip with glue on it. It's in the trash now. I want to make sure that I get the plastic that looks good with it. Now, there are, I've done a couple rebuilds and bought kits, and they always come with like glass and stuff. So like this does not match at all. You can see the color is off. The logos are all right, but the color is just too far off. This is this is glass, but this is that highly holographic one, and I'm kind of going for all original. This is, I think, another glass one, and super holographic, and are you kidding me? Oh man, I think I'm gonna have to do a glass one, because none of these colors are really matching up. Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and I'll be popping this on like so. And hey, that's gonna look pretty good. So I'm just going to pop this off, and I'm going to try to get the I'm going to try to get the screen back in. So none of the dust or anything shows up until you put the first game in and everything's all buttoned back up. But hey, that looks pretty good. Look at it. It looks like it's as clear as glass. All right, now I do want to like reuse this sticker, and this is sort of a challenging part because this will hold the screen in place nicely. I tried really hard not to stretch this out too much when I removed it, so I think I should be able to reuse it. I mean, to be honest, I don't know that it's entirely necessary to do this, but I do know that it's something I prefer to do. So I kind of like plop it into place, and then as long as it's not hanging over the edge, that's kind of the most critical aspect, because if it's hanging over the edge, then you'll be able to see it when you're playing, and that will it's distracting. Of course, I learned all about that the most difficult way possible, which is screwing up my first build. So I'm just sort of turning this around just to make sure that I cannot see that foam peeking out, and if that's the case, I should be good to go. I did off-screen double check that this screen is the same as that. Some of the models, there are, I think it's like 39 and 42 pin ribbons. You just sort of like held them up to each other, and they appear to be the same. I guess the smart thing would be to put this into the motherboard and double check, but hey, I like to live dangerously. So the screen is in. Next thing up, getting those buttons in. B, A, Okay, before I do anything else, I want to test it out and see if what I've done has had any impact whatsoever. So where is, of course, I'm going to test it out with, here it is, the only game that Nintendo made for the Game Boy Advance. It's kind of strange. All right, let's see if there's a difference. Oh. Do you hear that? How can you not love that jam? All right, here's the moment of truth. Press start. I'm a genius. Okay, so here it is. I mean, all cleaned up. With, I mean, like, I don't know, what time is it? It's an hour's worth of work, and this thing is basically up and running again. It retains all of the charm of the original. I do personally wish that I did not have to put the glass thing on, but I don't know, maybe some people will find it appealing. I can make the claim that it's, I can make the claim honestly that it's, all original except for the screen. But, I mean, especially if somebody wants something that they can kind of relive their childhood in, I mean, which is basically what I'm doing with these, they can have something that, they can kind of be a little bit rough with, and the screen won't get all scratched up and scuffed up. So, yeah, I'm pretty happy about this. I think it's turned out really nicely. Yeah, I don't know if you enjoyed this video. Leave a comment or something. Do whatever you want.